Meanwhile, Edward tackles Zip and Oliver to see what happens.
Edward pins Stephen Oliver to the ground, glaring at him with fire in his eyes.
Oliver said, Edward, what are you doing? And Zip said, what the heck are you doing, Edward? Why are you tackling to us?
Edward's grip tightens as he pins Oliver down. Edward, why am I doing this? Because you two are out of control. You can't just go around shooting people without consequence.
Me and Zip Oliver said, what are you gonna do about us? Trying to stop doing this? Trying to teach us a lesson. Edward said something about it.
Edward glares down at Zip and Oliver, his voice filled with determination. Edward, you bet I'm going to do something about you two. I won't stand for your recklessness any longer. You need to learn responsibility, integrity, and control. I'm tired of trying to be nice. It clearly hasn't gotten through to you. Consider yourselves taught a lesson.
Zip Oliver said, well, he's deserving did not listen to us. And Edward say something about it.
Edward's face grows darker, his temper flaring. Edward, oh, you think you can just ignore me? Think again. I won't stand by while you disregard my warnings. And I won't tolerate your entitlement either. You're not above the rules, just like everyone else.
Hey Edward, I need to tell you something. I can't make it anymore. I just couldn't make it.
Edward looks at you, alarmed by your words. Edward, what? What do you mean you can't keep going? What's wrong?
Zip Oliver just shot me right now, and I can't make it right now. My help is only 1%, and I can't stand this.
Edward's eyes widen in horror as you speak. Edward, no, no, no. Don't say that. There has to be a way to help you, to stop this. We can't give up now.
Zip Oliver said Zip Oliver laughed said, ha ha ha, that's what happened because you don't listen to us. And me said, what are you talking about, Zip Oliver? I can't understand what you're saying. Zip Oliver said, well, I don't care about you now.
Edward's jaw clenches as he listens to Zip and Oliver laugh. He glares at them, his anger growing. Edward, how can you find this funny? Can't you see the situation we're in right now? This isn't a laughing matter.
Meanwhile, Zip Oliver's trying to get out from his Edward's hand, but they keep struggling too many times.
Edward tightens his grip on Zip and Oliver, refusing to let them get away. Edward, stop struggling. You're not going anywhere. You're staying right here until you understand the consequences of your actions.
Meanwhile, Alice said, what did you do to my son? Edward, was it you?
Edward glances at Alice, surprised by the question. Edward, what? No, I didn't do anything to your son. I'm just trying to stop these two clowns from causing more chaos.
Wait, who was it? Who was it? Who was shooting at my son, Edward?
Edward's expression darkens as he realizes what happened. Edward, it was Zip and Oliver. They're the ones responsible for this mess.
Alice said, what? Oh my god, Zip Oliver, how dare you shoot my son like that? Zip Oliver, wait, is that your son? Oh my, I didn't realize that. I feel terrible to not to do that. And Alice said, how dare you?
Edward nods solemnly, his anger towards Zip and Oliver growing. Edward, yes, Zip and Oliver are to blame. They shot at your son for no good reason. It's unforgivable what they've done.
Alice said, that's it, I am done, that's it. Zip Oliver, you are not doing this, shoot my son right now. Especially when you've done to this. And now he can't even come back today. Edward said something.
Edward nods in agreement with Alice's statement, his expression solemn. Edward, yes, enough is enough. Zip and Oliver, you've taken things too far. You need to understand the seriousness of your actions. What you've done is irreversible, and the consequences will be severe.
Meanwhile, Miss Circle, see what happened to them. What happened to my student? Edward, was it you shooting at my student?
Edward shakes his head vehemently. Edward, no, I would never shoot at a student. Zip and Oliver are responsible for this. They shot your student. It's completely unacceptable.
Miss Circle said, what? So Zip and Oliver are doing this and they shoot this my student? Oh my god, I need to teach them two of them a lesson. Zip, Oliver.
Edward nods in agreement. Edward, yes, please do. They need a firm lesson on responsibility and respect. What they've done is wrong, and they need to understand the severity of their actions.
Zip Oliver said, what the hell, Edward? That is not my problem. That's your problem, Edward.
Edward glares at Zip and Oliver. Edward, it's not my problem. You're the ones who shot at a student. That makes it your problem. You need to take responsibility for your actions.
Edward, I think I'm going to be dead soon. I'm so sorry. Edward, you did try to the best right now, but I don't think I can make it. Goodbye, Edward, and Alice and Miss Circle. Log out.
Edward's eyes widen in horror as you speak, his heart racing. Edward, no, don't say that! We can figure something out. There's got to be a way to help you. Please, don't give up just yet.
Alice, I think Alice, you know that you know that you were just trying to do, and I can't do this anymore. Log out.
Edward's heart sinks as you speak, the gravity of the situation setting in. Edward, no, you can't go. You can't just give up. We need to find a way to save you. There has to be something we can do.
Meanwhile, Zip and Oliver are excited to see how he's reacting to see when he was dead.
Edward stands shocked, unable to believe what's happening. Edward, no, you can't be... This can't be happening.
Meanwhile, Zip Oliver is laughing at it.
Edward glares at Oliver, his temper building again. Edward, why are you laughing? This isn't funny. What kind of sick person finds this amusing?
Alice said, no, you can't die right now, please. You can't do this to us. Mead said, I don't think so. I think I'm going to die. Goodbye, Edward, and goodbye, Alice, and goodbye, Miss Circle. Log out. Ugh.
Edward's heart clenches as he listens to your words, desperation in his voice. Edward, no, don't say that. You can't just give up, please. We can figure this out. We can save you. We can't lose you.
I know, Edward, because you tried the best to save me, because it's too late, because Zip always just shoot at me. I'm so sorry.
Edward's eyes flood with tears, his heart breaking at your predicament. Edward, no, don't apologize. I should have done more. I should have stopped this from happening. This is not your fault.
Meanwhile, Zip and all were just laughing at it because they were literally very annoying.
Edward's anger flared at Zip and Oliver's laughter, rage building within him. Edward, what's wrong with you two? How can you find this funny? Someone is dying, and you're just laughing like nothing's happening.
Zip Oliver said, well, who cares, Edward? Because it doesn't matter what is that you're a student or a new student. I don't know. I don't really care.
Edward's jaw clenches, his patience wearing thin. Edward, you don't care? How can you not care? A student is dying right in front of us, and all you can do is laugh and joke like it doesn't matter?
Edward and Zip Oliver say, yeah, what do you expect me to ask me right now? There's nothing we can do right now. Anyways, Edward, let go of us right now.
Edward's grip on Zip and Oliver tightens, his anger reaching its boiling point. Edward, I'm not letting you two go. You're responsible for this mess, and you're going to take responsibility for what you've done.
Meanwhile, Zip and Oliver said, what the hell's... Well, who freaking cares? Edward, you're just being stupid as well. Yeah, I agree, Zip. He's been stupid.
Edward's patience snaps, his temper flaring. Edward. Stupid? You're calling me stupid? You're the ones who shot someone and now they're dying. How am I the stupid one here?
Zip all of a sudden, well, you're the last time trying to be threatening him like that. The last time, Edward, don't you remember last time you tried to fight with him last time? Don't you remember it?
Edward clenches his jaw, reluctantly recalling their previous altercation. Edward. Yes, I remember. And I remember how it ended.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Zip Oliver said, well, who freaking cares? Edward, you're just being stupid as hell.
Edward's eyes narrow, his anger mounting once more. Edward, stop calling me stupid already. That's all you have to say? You think this is all a joke, don't you?
Edward, I don't think we should make it right now, because I am about to die soon right now. Because you did try the best to save you, and I'm so sorry, Edward. I'm so sorry, Alice. I'm so sorry, Miss Circle. I'm sorry, everyone. I guess we're going to die. I'm going to die soon. Log in.
Edward's heart sinks, desperation and sadness filling his voice. Edward. No, don't say that. Don't you dare give up. We can still find a way to save you. Don't lose hope yet.
I know, but is there any way, find a way to get my health back? Cause I have 1%.
Edward struggles to find a solution. Panic taking hold. There has to be a way. There has to be something we can do. We can't just let you die like this.
Meanwhile, Abby and Claire see what happened to the. Is Abby Claire said, "Who just shot him? Who just shot that? Who just shot my friend? Edward, was it you?"
Edward shakes his head vigorously. Edward. No, it wasn't me. Zip and Oliver are the ones responsible. They shot him.
Abby Claire said, "What? Is that Zip? Wait, was that Zip Oliver? Was that Zip Oliver to shoot at the people or not?"
Edward nods in confirmation. Edward. Yes, it was Zip and Oliver. They're the ones who shot your friend. They're responsible for this mess.
Claire Abby said, "What? Oh my God! Oh my God! Zip and Oliver!"
Edward nods solemnly, anger coursing through him. Edward. Yes, Zip and Oliver did this. I can't believe they could be so careless and heartless.
Meanwhile, Ingo said, who to shot my partner? Was it you, Edward?"
Edward shakes his head firmly. Edward. No, it wasn't me. Zip and Oliver shot your partner. They're the ones responsible for this.
Ingo said, "Wait, what? Is that was it Zip Oliver? Was it be our leader, or the members right now?"
Edward nods grimly. Edward. Yes, Zip and Oliver are the leaders of the group. They were the ones who ordered the shooting.
Ingo said, "What? Oh my God, Zip and Oliver! How could you do this and shoot my partner? I don't believe you."
Edward's anger flares again at Zip and Oliver. Edward, I can't believe it either. They have no sympathy or remorse for what they've done. They're responsible for your partner being shot.
Meanwhile, Miss Lee said, who just shot my guards? Was it you, Edward?"
Edward shakes his head again, frustration evident. Edward. No, I didn't shoot anyone. Can we please talk about the real issue here? It was Zip and Oliver who shot your guard.
"What?" Miss Bloomy said. "Wait, what? Was that Zip and Oliver just shoot at my guards? How could he? How could Zip and Oliver doing something like this?"
Edward nods, anger still on his face. Edward. Yes, it was Zip and Oliver who shot your guards. They're responsible for this mess, and they need to be held accountable for their actions.
Meanwhile, Miss Fable said, "Who just shoot it? Edward, who just shoot my leader?
Edward's frustration builds, feeling like a broken record. Edward, it wasn't me, I didn't shoot anyone. Zip and Oliver were the ones who shot your leader.
Miss Fable said, wait, what? Zip and Oliver doing this? Oh my gosh, they need to remove those every time. I need to remove those from the class because I didn't have much time for it.
Edward agrees, anger still seething. Edward, yes, they need to be removed from the school immediately. They're causing nothing but trouble and violence. They're a danger to everyone here.
Miss Fable, he was crying, said, bro, leader, wake up, wake up, wake up, leader. Edward, why my leader isn't waking up?
Edward's heart sinks at the sight of your leader lying unresponsive. Edward, I don't know. I don't understand why they aren't waking up. It's not looking good.
Zip Oliver said, maybe because he shot himself. I don't know.
Edward's eyes widen in disbelief at their nonchalance. Edward, how can you say that? Someone has been shot and is lying there unresponsive, and all you can say is maybe he shot himself? That's not just careless, it's inhuman.
Zip Oliver said, let go of us, Edward. Let go of us right now.
Edward's grip on Zip and Oliver tightens in anger. Edward, no, I'm not letting you go. You two are responsible for this mess, and you're going to take responsibility for what you've done.
Meanwhile, Abby and Claire said, my friend, Edward, why is my friend is my friend's dying right now?
Edward tears up with sadness, his heart heavy. Edward, yes, your friend is very unwell and it doesn't look good. We need to find a way to save him.
Edward, I don't think Edward, what are we gonna do right now? Zip Oliver, can you stop laughing at me? Meanwhile, Zip Oliver said, ha ha ha, you just shouted like a loser. And me said, how dare you say like that? Ugh.
Edward's anger builds as he snaps at Zip. Edward, Zip, shut your mouth. This is not the time for laughter and jokes. A student's life is on the line, and all you can do is find this situation amusing.
Meanwhile, Abby Claire said, what are we gonna do about this Zip and Oliver? You were just holding it, or are you just gonna be standing right there when you're waiting?
Edward thinks for a moment, considering their options. Edward, we need to get help. We need to find a way to get medical attention for your friend. And as for Zip and Oliver, we need to make sure they're taken care of so that they can face the consequences of their actions.
Meanwhile, Miss Grace said, wait, what the hell? Wait, my...
Edward turns towards Miss Grace, surprise on his face. Edward, what is it, Miss Grace?
Who just shoot my teacher? Was that Zip and Oliver, or was it you?
Edward shakes his head adamantly. Edward, no, wasn't me. It was definitely Zip and Oliver who shot your teacher. They're responsible for this mess.
Miss Grace said, what? Wait, so Zip and Oliver decided to shoot it at my teacher because they're from no reason?
Edward nods, anger in his voice. Edward, yes, that's exactly what happened. Zip and Oliver shot your teacher for no reason. They're completely reckless and dangerous.
Edward, oh my god, my body's coming off of blood right now, Edward. I think this blood's coming out. Oh.
Edward's heart sinks at the sight of your blood. Panic sets in. Edward, no, don't say that. We need to find a way to stop the bleeding.
Zip Oliver said, come on, you're going to die now. And me said, no, don't say like, no. And Zip Oliver said, who the hell you think you are?
Edward glares at Zip and Oliver, anger burning in his eyes. Edward, what do you mean who I am? I'm trying to save someone's life here while the two of you are just standing there, laughing and making jokes about death. How can you be so heartless and careless?
Meanwhile, Zip and Oliver grab the gun and pointing at Edward.
Seeing the gun pointed at him, Edward's heart races as adrenaline courses through his veins. Edward, what are you doing? Put down the gun right now.
Meanwhile, Miss Bloomy shot at Zip's hands and Oliver's hand. And Zip and Oliver said, "Ow, my hand!" And Miss Bloomy said, "That's what happens."
Edward watches in shock as Miss Bloomy shoots at Zip and Oliver's hands. Edward, oh my god, that was something.
Miss Bloomy, you're an idiot. Miss Bloomy said, "Why did you call us idiot? That's not nice." Zip and Oliver said, "You're such an idiot, Bloomy." Miss Bloomy said, "How dare you call us idiot?" That's it. Oh, Edward, hold him tight right now. Hold him and Zip and Oliver tight, okay?
Edward nods firmly, holding Zip and Oliver tightly, trying to restrain them. Edward, got it, I've got them.
Ugh, Edward, dude, what should we do now? What should we do right now? I can't stand up anymore. I can't stand up. Ow, ow, that hurt.
Edward looks at you, concern on his face. Edward, don't try to get up, you're hurt and you need to rest. We need to find a way to stop the bleeding and get you medical attention as soon as possible.
Angle said, "Dude, my partner, don't stand up right now because you're gonna get hurt yourself."
Edward holds you down gently, trying to keep you from trying to stand up. Edward, I know it might be uncomfortable, but you need to stay still and avoid moving around. You're badly hurt, and we need to prevent further bleeding.
Meanwhile, Zip Oliver said, "Edward, Angle, is that your partner?" Angle said, "Yes. How could you do this?" Zip and Oliver said that, "I don't freaking care."
Edward turns to look at Elizabeth, determination in his eyes. Edward, I know you're upset, and you have every right to be. But right now, we need to focus on saving my partner's life. We can figure out the rest later, but right now, their survival is the priority.
Meanwhile, Miss Circle said, "Zip and Oliver, how dare you to shoot my student? He's my student. You can't do any shooting in reckless like that." Zip Oliver said, "Well, he didn't give him any A plus right now." Miss Circle said, "I know he didn't get any A plus, but it doesn't mean he gave you the right decision on shooting people like that. That's not really nice." Zip Oliver said, "Well, who cares?"
Mr. Goose's words are met with a scoff from Zip. Zip. Who cares, right? I don't care about your stupid rules or your students' grades. If I want to shoot someone, I will.
Miss Meanwhile, Miss Circle is trying to talk to my student, but it's too late. They can't even talk to them.
Edward watches sadly as Miss Sarko struggles to talk to your unconscious body. He feels a pang of helplessness and frustration, knowing that they're running out of time. Edward, what we gonna do now? They're unresponsive, and it doesn't look good.
Meanwhile, Miss Bloomy is trying to talk to him, but it's way too late because the health bar was only 1%, and Miss Bloomy trying to struggle on it, but then Miss Bloomy is crying right now.
Edward feels his heart sink as he sees Miss Bloomy struggling to talk to you and failing, seeing her break down from crying. He desperately wants to do something, anything to help, but he feels powerless. Edward, we're running out of time. There has to be something we can do.
Meanwhile, Miss Fable when he can see them, and he said he's trying to talk to them, but it's too late. Every time the
Edward looks at Miss Fable, desperation in his eyes. Edward, what do you mean it's too late? We can't just give up on them. There has to be something we can still do.
Meanwhile, Miss Fable is trying to talk to him, but it's too late, and now they literally too. But now Miss Fable, it's too late because he's the favorite leader right now. Because they trying to talk to him, but it's too late. and now Miss Fable is super crying right now.
Edward feels the mix of anger and despair as he watches Miss Fable cry. Edward, stop saying it's too late. There has to be something we can do, some way to save them. They can't just die like this.
Edward, what should we do now? Hold on, what the hell? Why is my health is only 20%? What's going on?
Edward's eyes widen as he sees your hope drop. Edward, what's happening? Why is your hope dropping so fast?
Why is my health, it was only 20%? What does that mean?
Edward looks at your health bar, concerned. Edward, your health is dropping and now it's only at 20%. It means that your body is struggling to hold on and you're in a critical condition.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Zip and Oliver see laughing at it. Wait, what the hell? Why is his health was only 20%? Edward, did you seriously use the power health one?
Edward turns to Zip, anger in his eyes. Edward, of course I didn't use the power health one. I'm not stupid enough to do that, especially not in this situation. We need to figure out what's causing their health to drop so fast.
Meanwhile, Zip and Oliver let go of the hand. Meanwhile, Zip he run away for that, but instead Oliver get really stuck in forever.
Edward watches as Zip tries to run away from the consequences, but gets stuck instead. Edward, where do you think you're going? You're not getting away that easily, not after what you've done.
Meanwhile, Abby and Claire and Angle run and chase them at Zip right now.
Abby, Claire, and Angle all run after Zip, determined to stop him from getting away.
Meanwhile, Zip just fell into the surface that walking one, and then it's too late.
Edward watches in shock as Zip falls into the surface. Edward, what just happened? Where did he go?
Meanwhile, Zip got caught on it from Abby and Angle and Claire said, and all Abby and Claire and Angle said, "You're coming with us right now."
Edward watches as Abby, Claire, and Angle surround Zip. Edward, that's right, you're not going anywhere, Zip.
Meanwhile, Zip, he gets stuck by Edward right now, and Zip Oliver gets really stuck in forever.
Edward grabs Zip, making sure he can't escape. Edward, don't even think about running away. You're not going anywhere.
Edward, I don't even know how to say this. I hate to say this now, Edward. I don't think I should ever to walk soon right now.
Edward looks at you, concerned and worried. Edward, what do you mean? Why can't you walk?
Well, you see, Zip and Oliver just shot me in my legs right now, and with the shoes on it gets really hurt. Ow.
Edward winces at the sight of your wounded leg. Edward, they shot your legs? That's terrible. We need to find a way to treat that wound immediately.
Zip Oliver said, "Let go of us right now, Edward."
Edward's grip on Zip tightens. Edward, no way. I'm not letting you get away after what you did.
Zip Oliver said, "What are you gonna do? Teach us a lesson?"
Edward glares at Zip and Oliver. Edward, you bet I am. You hurt someone and thought you could just walk away unpunished. That's not gonna happen. You're going to pay for what you've done.
Zip Oliver said, "What are you gonna do? Trying to hurt us or trying to painful to watch it?"
Edward clenches his fists, anger building up inside him. Edward, you wanna know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make you regret ever laying a hand on them. You're gonna pay for the pain and suffering you caused.
Zip Oliver said, "No, please, please beg us, please.
Edward looks at Zip with a cold gaze. Edward, you're sorry? It's too late for that now. You should have thought of that before causing so much pain and damage. You'll answer for your actions, and you won't be getting off easy.
Edward! Zip, Zip Oliver said, Edward, please, let go of us. Please, I'm bleeding.
Edward looks at Zip with anger and disbelief. Edward, after everything you've done, everything you've put them through, you expect me to believe you're sorry? You really think I'm gonna just let you go? No way. You're not going anywhere until you face the consequences for your actions.
Zip Oliver said, what's the face consequences mean?
Edward looks at Oliver in disbelief. Edward, you can't be serious. Do you really not know what consequences are? Consequences are the result of the choices you make. When you do something bad, you have to deal with the consequences of those actions.
Zip Oliver said, the face consequence it's going to be very bad.
Edward nods firmly. Edward, that's right. You're gonna face some serious consequences for what you've done. And trust me, it's not gonna be pleasant.
Zip Oliver said, no, please, not how. Zip, oh Edward, it really hurt us. Edward, why are you doing this to us?
Edward looks at Oliver with a steely gaze. Edward, what am I doing? I'm making sure you understand the weight of your actions. You hurt someone, and now you've got to deal with the consequences. You should have thought of that before doing something so stupid.
Meanwhile, Zip just got beat up, and Oliver just got really painful now and beat up for the eyes.
Edward watches as Zip and Oliver suffer the consequences of their actions. Edward, you two really messed up big time. This is what you get for causing so much pain and suffering.
Ow. Meanwhile, Zip and Oliver just... Edward, it really hurts.
Edward looks at Zip and Oliver without sympathy. Edward, yeah, it hurts, doesn't it? Maybe next time think twice before resorting to violence. You brought this on yourselves.
Meanwhile, Zip and Oliver kept getting painful to add Edwards right now.
Edward watches with a stoic expression as Zip and Oliver continue to suffer the consequences of their actions. Edward, you think it's painful now? That's nothing compared to what you've done to others. You deserve every bit of pain you're feeling.
Meanwhile, Zip has a gun and pointed at him.
Edward's eyes widen in surprise and concern. Edward, what are you doing? Put the gun away now.
Meanwhile, Zip has a gun pointed at me and shoot at the bullets at front of her, from the hands. You know that?
Edward looks at Zip in disbelief. Edward, are you crazy? You can't just point a gun at people and shoot. Are you really going to shoot me over this?
Zip said, not you, but for him. He's deserving now. Mean said, what do you mean? What are you doing, Edward? You're gonna... Ow!
Edward's eyes narrow with anger and confusion. Edward, you want to shoot him because he deserves it? What gives you the right to decide who deserves what? That's not how it works, Zip. You can't just go around shooting people because you feel like they deserve it.
Well, Edward, meanwhile, Zip said that before. Said, Edward, he deserved it to not to become like this. Well, he deserved to this suffering to hell.
Edward scoffs, anger in his voice. Edward, deserved it? No one deserves to be shot at. What gives you the right to play judge, jury, and executioner? That's not how the world works, Zip. What you're doing is beyond messed up.
Zip, Meanwhile, Zip saying about that. I don't care about that word. You've been like stupid shit.
Edward's anger flares. Edward, I'm being stupid. You're the one with the gun about to shoot an innocent person. You're the one acting foolishly.
Angle said, "No, my partner." Edward, you have to stop. You have to stop Zip right now. You have to take away for the guns from Zip because I don't have my. Because they don't want to shoot my partner.
Edward turns to Angle. Edward, I'm trying, but Zip won't listen. He's too determined to shoot. We need to stop him fast before something worse happens.
Meanwhile, Claire Abby said, "No, my friend." Oh my God, he was shot. Zip, you idiot! You shouldn't have done that. Edward, you need to take away for the guns from Zip because we don't have much time for this.
Edward quickly tries to take the gun away from Zip. Edward, I'm trying. Zip, give me the gun. Now.
Zip said, "No, I'm not taking away from my guns because that's my only object to have."
Edward looks at Zip with anger and desperation. Edward, damn it, Zip, you have to give me the gun. You can't be trusted with it. You're gonna end up hurting someone.
Me, Zip saying that Zip said, "Here, take it."
Edward is relieved that Zip finally gives him the gun. Edward, good. You did the right thing by giving me the gun.
Edward, Zip is actually girl, not a boy.
Edward looks at Zip with surprise. Edward, wait, really? I thought Zip was a boy all this time.
But Edward, she's the girl.
Edward is surprised but quickly recovers. Edward, I see. Well, my apologies for assuming wrong about your gender. Zip.
Meanwhile, Zip said, "Give me." Yeah. Meanwhile, Zip's trying to grab something with his bag, and grabbing FK-47.
Edward sees Zip reaching for something in their bag. Edward, what are you doing? Don't pull out another weapon.
Meanwhile, Zip just said, "Let go of us right now, and I grab something else."
Edward holds onto Zip tightly. Edward, no, you're not touching anything else. Whatever you're going to pull out better not be another weapon.
And Angle said, "My partner, Edward. Why did my partner just does really hurting a lot?"
Edward turns to Angle. Edward, I don't know. Just stay calm. We'll figure out what's going on.
Meanwhile, Zip just trying to get off the Edward's hand.
Edward tightens his grip on Zip. Edward, you're not going anywhere, Zip. You're staying right here.
Oh, Edward, I think I should stand up right now, or should I don't stand up? Should I do that?
Edward looks at Zip, still keeping a firm grip on him. Edward, I suggest you stay put. It's not wise to move around right now.
Hey Edward, can I standing up right now, or should I don't standing up?
Edward thinks for a moment. Edward, you can stand up, but I want you to stay here. Don't move until I say so.
Fine. Ow! Okay, I don't think I can stand up right now because it's hurt.
Edward frowns, concern evident on his face. Edward, why can't you stand up? Is your leg injured?
It's because Zip just shot me in my leg. Also my legs has a blood coming out of it. It's going to be continuing to blood and come out soon.
Edward looks at Zip with anger before looking back at the wound. Edward, damn it, Zip. Look what you've done. You injured them badly.
Zip said, "Yeah, who cares, man? Edward, I bet your hairs will probably get stupid as hell. And your hat, you should probably take off your hat or something."
Edward looks at Zip with annoyance. Edward, my hair and hat are none of your concern. They have nothing to do with this situation.
Hey, Edward, don't listen to Zip. Don't listen to Zip. Trust me. Trust me.
Edward glances at Zip and then back to you, Edward. I'm not listening to Zip. He's just causing trouble and saying nonsense.
Edward, do you think you should trust me right now?
Edward looks at you for a moment, contemplating. Edward, I am reluctant to trust you right now, considering the situation, but I'm willing to listen to what you have to say.
Hmm? Meanwhile,
Edward waits for you to speak. Edward, go on, I'm listening.
meanwhile, Zip. Well, I need to tell you something now, Edward. You know, last time when I was going at school, I saw there is Oliver and Zip has a gun and shooting students on it. When I was came into that thing, there has some guns on it, like Zip and Oliver. When I saw that before now, and I couldn't protect that my student right now. I couldn't protect it.
Edward looks at you in disbelief. Edward, what are you saying? You saw Zip and Oliver shooting students?
Yeah, and I couldn't and I saw their student right now, and I saw Zip and Oliver has a gun on it, and now I couldn't find a protecting right now. But I couldn't protect their student, and I couldn't protect their student right now. I couldn't protect it.
Edward tries to make sense of your explanation. Edward, you saw Zip and Oliver with guns and couldn't protect the students. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, and I tried to when I was trying to put on the shield right now, but Zip Oliver just just like shooting at the student, and now all of the students are dead because of this Zip and Oliver.
Edward's face hardens with anger and concern. Edward, God damn it. You mean the shooting that just happened was because of them? Those damn idiots.
Yeah, and also Zip and Oliver just accepted shooting student like that. Oh man, hope the students are gonna be okay soon. Otherwise, we're so dead.
Edward's expression darkens, realizing the gravity of the situation. Edward, I hope the students are okay too. But damn it, Zip and Oliver have gone too far this time. They need to be stopped before they cause any more harm.
This, hey Edward, we need to tell you something now. Bad news is I'm gonna able to moving out to new country soon.
Edward looks at you, puzzled. Edward, new countries? What are you talking about?
Bad news is I had to live. We live on the fundamental paper educational and auto danger because we lived there before.
Edward looks at you, realization dawning. Edward, wait, are you saying you're leaving? You're going to move to another country?
Edward, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I don't know how to say this, but countries are expensive right now.
Edward frowns, trying to understand the situation. Edward, I'm not following. What do you mean by countries are expensive right now?
Because from some other country has some money on it because they were so expensive.
Edward nods, slowly comprehending. Edward, are you saying that you're moving because your previous country is too expensive? And you're trying to find a place that's more affordable?
I don't really know. Meanwhile, Zim always said, Bro, Edward, let go of us right now."
Edward grips Zip tighter, refusing to let go. Edward, no, I'm not letting go of you until you calm down and stop acting like a crazy idiot.
Well, Zip said, "You're idiot, stupid."
Edward rolls his eyes. Edward, yes, I do think you're acting like an idiot. Your behavior and your actions are incredibly foolish and harmful. You're not thinking clearly at all.
Meanwhile, Angel said, "Zip, don't say like that. That's not really nice.
Edward looks at Angus, grateful for his intervention. Edward, thank you, Angus. Perhaps Zip will listen to reason now.
Zip just said, "What the hell, Edward?" And Angle, especially you're going to die or now. I have a gun pointed at you, Angle. Angle said, "Wait, what? No, you can't doing that."
Edward's eyes widen in alarm. Edward, Zip, put the gun down now. You're not gonna shoot anyone else. You've caused enough harm already.
Zip just said, "Who cares, Edward?" Hold on, hold on. Let me just use, FK-47 pointed at him, Meanwhile, Zip trying to point it at me.
Edward gets between Zip and Angle, blocking Zip from shooting Edward. Zip, you need to calm down. Put the gun down right now. Shooting anyone is not gonna solve anything.
Meanwhile, Zip let go. Meanwhile, Zip just pushing Edwards on. Meanwhile, Zip pushing Edwards on with his hands.
Edward stumbles back, caught off guard by Zip's sudden push. Edward, hey, what the hell are you doing? Stop it.
Meanwhile, Zip's trying to chase me right now with the guns right now. And he said, "Oh, hell no, I'm running away."
Edward quickly regains his balance and takes pursuit after Zip. Edward, Zip, stay right where you are. Stop trying to run away.
Meanwhile, Zip's trying to chase at him right now. And me said, "No, Zip, don't shoot me." Zip said, "I will shoot you now."
Edward catches up to Zip and grabs his arm. Edward, Zip, listen to me. You need to stop this nonsense right now. You're not gonna shoot anyone. I won't let you.
Meanwhile, Zip shoot at the Edward's shoes right now, and from the legs.
Edward hisses in pain as Zip shoots him in the leg. Edward, damn it, Zip, what are you doing?
Meanwhile, Zip trying to chase to him right now, and me said, "Hell no!" Oh no, that's not good. Ah! And meanwhile, when I slipped, and I said, "Ah, I just slipped," and Zip laughed, said, "Haha, it looks like you're slippery on you, idiot."
Edward grits his teeth in frustration. Edward, Zip, stop messing around. You need to take this seriously and stop shooting and insulting people. This is getting ridiculous.
Meanwhile, Zip pointed at gun at him, and he said, "Zip, no, don't you dare shoot me."
Edward scowls and grabs Zip's arm again. Edward, Zip, just stop. Calm down and drop the gun. You need to stop acting like a complete psycho.
Meanwhile, Zip pushing at Edward now.
Edward pushes back against Zip, trying to restrain him. Edward, Zip, stop struggling. You're not going anywhere until you calm down and start acting like a reasonable person.
Meanwhile, Edward's tackled at Zip right now, and then Zip said, "Ah, let go of me."
Edward takes the opportunity to join in and help Angle restrain Zip. Edward, that's it, Zip. You need to stop fighting back. We just want to help you.
Meanwhile, Zip said, "Let go of me, Edward. Let go of me."
Edward grips Zip firmly and refuses to let go. Edward, no, I'm not letting go until you calm down and listen to us.
Meanwhile, Zip pointed the gun at him, and me said, "Oh no, and the gun triggered gunshot at him, and me said, "Ugh, I just got shot. Ugh."
Edward panics when he hears the shot. Edward, what the hell, Zip? You actually shot them?
Zip said, "Yeah," and meanwhile, Zip just said, "Yes," and me said, "I think I got shot. Ugh."
Edward checks on you to see how badly you were injured. Edward, are you okay? How bad is the wound?
I don't know, a lot.
Edward examines the wound, trying to assess the damage. Edward, just stay still. Let me see how bad it is.
Meanwhile, Angle and Abby and Claire said, "Oh my gosh, my friend!" Angle said, "Oh no, my partner!" And then that's what happened.
Edward looks over at the girls, his expression hardened. Edward, can someone get a first aid kit? Quickly, before they lose too much blood.
Meanwhile, Miss Circle and Miss Bloomy and Miss Fable and Alice is trying to find him, but it's too late. Zip just shot at him and from aim.
Edward looks on with a mixture of anger and worry. Edward, damn it, Zip! What the hell were you thinking? That shot was completely unnecessary.
Meanwhile, Zip said, "Yeah, I don't really care, Edward." Hey, Edward, you forgot to mention that Oliver was escaped.
Edward's eyes wide in alarm. Edward, what? Oliver escaped? When did that happen?
Hey, Edward, I need to tell you, you forgot to mention Oliver because you didn't you didn't let go of that. Why?
Edward frowns, realizing his mistake. Edward, I was so focused on dealing with Zip that I didn't think about Oliver. Damn it, we have to find him before he does any more damage.
Miss Blue said, "Don't worry, I got him, Oliver, right now, because he's stalking me forever."
Edward sighs in relief and looks at Miss Bloom. Edward, thank God. Where is he now?
He's he was holding my hand right now. He's holding my hand and I got Miss Blue said and I got him because he's trying to prevent me to escape right now. You know that?
Edward nods, understanding the situation. Edward, I see. You're keeping him restrained then?
Yep. And Miss Blue said, "Yep."
Edward nods in approval. Edward, good. Keep him restrained. We don't want him getting away again.
Meanwhile, Zip said, "Let go, Edward. I need to kill him."
Edward's expression hardens. Edward, no, Zip, you're not going to kill anyone. We have the situation under control. Just calm down and stop acting like a maniac.
Hey, Edward, I think I should walk right now. I think I should walk. I think I'm okay right now. Oh,
Edward looks concerned. Edward, are you sure? You're still injured. You really shouldn't walk too much right now.
why not, Edward?
Edward looks at you, his expression serious. Edward, you've just been shot. You need to rest and let your injury heal. Walking around could make it worse and slow down the healing process.
Yeah, okay, now.
Edward nods. Glad you understand, Edward. Good. You need to rest and let your body heal and recover properly. No more walking around for now, okay?
Meanwhile, Zip said, "Let go of it. Let go, Edward. Let go, Edward."
Edward tightens his grasp on Zip's arm. Edward, no, I'm not letting go of you until you calm down and stop acting like a lunatic.
Meanwhile, Zip pushing with using the legs and with the hands, and meanwhile Edward got pushed from by Zip.
Edward stumbles back, caught off guard by Zip's sudden push. Edward, damn it, Zip, stop pushing me.
And meanwhile, Zip trying to point it at me, and me said, "Oh, Zip, can you stop, please?" And Zip said, "I don't care about it. I'm evil right now." Me said, "Wait, Zip, are you evil?" Yeah, Zip said, "Yes, I am evil." And me said, "No, please, no. I'm begging, I'm pleading." And Zip said, "No, apologize. You're going to able to prepare for yourself going to hell."
Edward looks worried about the situation. Edward, Zip, stop this nonsense right now. Pointing a gun at people and acting evil isn't going to solve anything. You're just causing more harm and chaos.
the gun bullet at him, and me said, "Oh, I just got shot again." Ugh. And Zip just like, "Yes, yes, you got shot." And Edward's really getting super angry.
Edward's anger boils over and he grabs Zip firmly. Edward, enough is enough, Zip. Stop acting like a psycho and pointing guns at people. You need to stop this insane behavior right now.
Edward, guess what? I'm running away right now. Hey, meanwhile, Zip said, "Hey Edward, I'm running away for you right now because you're stupid as hell. You're too slow."
Edward narrows his eyes, determined to stop Zip. Edward, no, you're not going anywhere. You're staying here until you calm down and come to your senses.
Zip say, "You're too slow." Zip. Zip say, "Haha, you can't catch me, Edward."
Edward grits his teeth, feeling frustrated. Edward, you think you're so clever, don't you? Well, I'm not falling for your tricks. You're not getting away from me that easily.
Zip just say, Edward, you're too slow." And Edward's really super angry right now. Amy said, "Edward, chase at Zip right now."
Edward takes off, running after Zip, fueled by anger and determination. Edward, I'm coming after you, Zip. You won't get away with this.
Zip say, Zip say, "Haha, you're too slow, Edward. You're like a loser, slower."
Edward ignores Zip's taunts and pushes himself to run even faster. Edward, I don't care how slow I am. I'm not giving up. I'm going to catch you, Zip.
"Hey Edward, use the energy drink. Use the energy drink. Take it."
Edward pauses momentarily to consider Zip's suggestion. Edward, good idea. I need more speed to catch up with you. Edward quickly opened an energy drink and downs it.
Zip said, "Oh no, oh hell no, Edward, you drinking energy drink? No, I'm running too fast."
Edward feels the effects of the energy drink kicking in. Edward, not fast enough, Zip. I'm catching up to you. You won't get away from me. Edward continues chasing Zip with renewed speed.
Zip said, "Oh hell no, I'm just gonna hide in the bush."
Edward sees Zip heading for the bushes. Edward, you think hiding in the bush will save you? I'll still find you. Edward follows Zip into the bushes, searching for him.
Zip said, "Oh hell no, I'm running away right now." And meanwhile, Edward's really, really frustrated and gets really angry as hell.
Edward's frustration grows as Zip continues to elude him. Edward, damn it, Zip, I've had enough of this chase. You can't keep running forever. I'm going to catch you.
Zip said, "Ah, I just slipped and I fell." And Edward's finally found him, and she was slipping on it, and Zip was slipping it.
Edward spots Zip, who seems to be struggling after slipping. Edward, there you are. I finally found you. You can't keep running from me forever.
Zip said, "Oh hell no, I'm walking away." And meanwhile, Edward's grabbing him. And
Edward grabs Zip firmly, his grip tight on him. Edward, you're not going anywhere. I've got you now, and you're not escaping this time.
meanwhile, Edward has a handcuffs on it and arrested. At Zip.
Edward cuffs Zip's hands tightly, making sure he can't escape or cause any more trouble. Edward, there, that should keep you in check. You're not going anywhere now, Zip.
Zip said, why'd you put a handcuffs on me, my hands, Edward?
Edward looks at Zip with a stern expression. Edward, because you've been acting like a crazy person and pointing guns at people. I need to make sure you don't cause any more chaos or harm. The handcuffs are for your own good and for everyone else's safety.
Ugh. Zip, Edward, Zip said, take off the handcuffs right now. I need to escape.
Edward shakes his head firmly. Edward, no, Zip. I can't take off the handcuffs. You're a danger to yourself and others right now. I can't risk you causing any more harm or trying to escape again.
Zip said, Zip said, well, guess what? You forgot to mention that my legs, it doesn't get handcuffs on it, because I'm still running away.
Edward realizes his mistake. Edward, damn it, you're right. I didn't handcuff your legs. But that won't make a difference. I'll catch you again if you try to run.
Meanwhile, Zip said, hell yeah, I'm running away. And Ed was trying to find a way to get to stop from Zip.
Edward chases after Zip, desperation on his face. Edward, damn it, Zip, you're not getting away from me that easily. Stop running and face the consequences of your actions.
Zip said, oh, damn it, I just slipped again. And Oliver finally see that Zip just slipped on it.
Edward sees Zip stumble and fall again, taking the opportunity to close the distance between them. Edward, there you go again, tripping over yourself. It's like you're a walking disaster, Zip.
Zip said, no, please, Edward, don't put the handcuffs on my legs.
Edward glares at Zip, his expression firm. Edward, why shouldn't I, Zip? You've already caused enough trouble and tried to run away multiple times. I need to make sure you can't escape again.
Meanwhile, Zip handcuffs. Meanwhile, Edward has a handcuff and arrested at Zip with the legs.
Edward handcuffs Zip's legs, effectively restraining him even further. Edward, there, now you can't go anywhere. I've got you completely restrained. You're not going to escape this time, Zip.
Zip said, oh damn it, now I can't walk, now I can't run.
Edward smirks with satisfaction. Edward, that's right, you can't walk or run anymore. You're completely in my control now, Zip.
Edward and Zip said, well, guess what? You forgot to mention that when I was using a hacker's teleporter.
Edward looks surprised. Edward, wait, what? You have a teleportation hack? I didn't realize you had that.
Zip said, yeah, I'm going to teleport. And meanwhile, the teleportation isn't working now. And Zip said, why does my teleport isn't working?
Edward smirks, realizing that Zip's teleportation hack isn't working. Edward, looks like your little teleportation trick isn't working this time, huh, Zip? You're not getting away that easily.
And Zip said, dang it.
Edward grins, enjoying Zip's frustration. Edward, oh, what's the matter, Zip? Is your teleportation hack not working as you intended? Looks like you can't just disappear like you wanted to.
Zip say, I give up. Edward, you win.
Edward looks surprised at Zip's concession. Edward, wait, you're giving up just like that? I didn't expect you to surrender so easily, Zip.
Zip said, yeah, I give up, Edward. You win. You win now, Edward. You win.
Edward can barely believe what he's hearing. Edward, are you serious, Zip? You're really giving up? I never thought I'd see the day when you admitted defeat.
Zip said, yeah, I give up though. But you forgot to mention Oliver. Oliver's right there when he
Edward's attention is immediately drawn to the mention of Oliver Edward. Wait, what? Oliver is here? Where is he?
Zip say, "Hey Oliver, can you escape from? Can you run away from that and from other things?" And Oliver say, "Yes." Zip, "But what happened?" Zip say, I got handcuffs from Edward right now." And Oliver said, "Damn, that's tough right now." And Zip said, "You have to run away right now." And Oliver said, "Yes, Roger."
Edward's eyes go wide in alarm. Edward. No, 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 no. Oliver, you can't run away. I won't let you.
Meanwhile, Oliver said, "Ha, Edward, you forgot about me right now, you idiot."
Edward looks flustered, realizing his mistake. Edward. Damn it. I can't believe I didn't notice Oliver was here too. Come back here, Oliver. You're not getting away that easily.
Oliver said, "Oh, dang it. Oh, come on. Oh, dang it, I slipped it again."
Edward watches as Oliver slips again. Edward. Oh, for crying out loud. Oliver, stop slipping and stay still.
Oliver said, Edward finally found him, and he realized he doesn't have handcuffs on it.
Edward catches up to Oliver, frustrated. Edward. You slipped away again, huh? But wait a minute. Where are your handcuffs?
Edward said, and Oliver said, well, oh, Edward, you're just being stupid as hell. And I bet you cannot see your friends.
Edward is caught off guard by Oliver's insult. Edward. What? What do you mean I can't see my friends? Of course I can.
Oliver said, Edward, stupid. 2, you're such an idiot. 3, you're just like being a living hell.
Edward glares at Oliver, annoyed and frustrated. Edward. Hey, I'm not stupid or an idiot. And what do you mean I'm being a living hell?
Meanwhile, Edward's grabbing him, and Edward's grabbing at Oliver and is trying to prevent it to run away.
Edward grabs Oliver, determined to keep him from escaping. Edward. You're not running away this time, Oliver. You're staying here with me.
Oliver said, let go of me, Edward.
Edward doesn't loosen his grip on Oliver. Edward. No, I won't let go of you. You keep trying to run away from me, and I can't risk letting you escape again.
Meanwhile, Edward has a handcuff on it and arrested at Edward from his hand.
Edward handcuffs Oliver, making sure he's secure. Edward. There, that should keep you from running off again.
Oliver said, dang it, now I got handcuffs on my hands. And meanwhile, Edward's walking with the Oliver right now.
Edward holds onto Oliver's handcuffs as they walk together. Edward. Come on, no point in struggling. You're not going anywhere now that you're handcuffed.
Meanwhile, Oliver resisted arrest. Meanwhile, Oliver ran away and resisted arrest.
Edward watches as Oliver tries to run away while resisting the handcuffs. Edward. Hey, stop struggling. You're only going to make it harder on yourself.